The sensor glitched that wasn't. Stars were calm that day in Sector 49Z. Deep space looked peaceful, almost empty, but something strange was about to happen. Something the galaxy had never seen before. Commander Velk stood on the bridge of the alien dreadnought Zirvok. His eyes were locked on the main screen. He was a seasoned leader, never shaken by war or space anomalies, but now a frown grew on his face. "Captain," a young officer called out, eyes wide, "we are detecting a strange energy reading. It just appeared out of nowhere." Velk turned a spike. "Yes, sir, and growing." The commander walked to the console. The numbers did not make sense. The energy was huge, stronger than any ship should carry, but there was no visual, nothing on radar, nothing on cameras, just a growing power signature. "Run a sensor diagnostic," Velk ordered. "Maybe the system is glitching." The officer nodded and typed fast, but the results came back the same, no errors. Another officer looked up from her station. "Sir, we have movement. Something is approaching." Now the tension in the room thickened. Velk leaned in. "How fast?" "Sublight, slow, like it wants to be seen." Everyone on the bridge froze for a second. No ship moved like that. In battle, speed was survival, but this one, it moved like it had no fear. Velk narrowed his eyes. "Show me." A grainy image appeared on the screen, a black shape against the stars, huge and strange. Its surface was smooth, but lined with glowing orange marks. The ship was unlike anything Velk had seen in his 30 years of service. "What species owns that design?" he asked. "No match in the database, sir," the officer replied. "This design does not exist." Velk's stomach dropped. Then, "Who built it? Should we send a scout?" someone asked. Velk nodded slowly. "Yes, one light cruiser." "Keep comms open." A minute later, the scout ship Skulven left the formation and flew toward the object. The bridge watched in silence as it approached. "Commander, we're receiving a transmission from the scout ship," an officer said. "Put it on." The voice came through with static. "This is the Skulven. We are approaching the unknown craft. It is massive. We are scanning it now. No heat signatures, no visible weapons, but something is wrong. The ship is not just big, it's awake." Velk frowned. "Awake, like it knows we're here." The voice said, "It just turned facing us. We didn't trigger it. It moved on its own." "Sir, I think." Suddenly, the transmission cut. "What happened?" Velk barked. "No signal," the officer said, his face pale. "The Skulven is gone, not destroyed, just disappeared." "Run full scans," Velk shouted. The screen lit up. The scout ship was no longer there. No debris, no explosion, just empty space. Then a new reading appeared. The unknown ship had moved. It was now heading directly for the Zirvok. "Raise shields," Velk ordered. Sirens began to scream on the bridge. Lights turned red. Everyone moved fast, but their hands shook. "What are we facing?" someone whispered. Velk stared at the dark shape on the screen. "I don't know." A soft alert pinged again. "Commander, we've received a small transmission from the object." One line of text. Velk stepped forward. "Read it." The officer swallowed. "It says, 'We warned you not to follow.'" Silence fell over the bridge. Velk felt something he had not felt in years. Fear. "That's a warning," he said. "But who sent it?" another officer asked. "Who are they?" Velk looked up. "We need answers. Call the High Command. Tell them we've made contact with something new. And tell them it just erased a warship without firing a single shot." The dark ship kept coming. Slow and calm. In space, fear spreads fast, and today, it had just begun. The warship with no recorded command center of the Zirvok was silent. No one spoke, no one dared. The alien crew, veterans of many wars, stared at the screen showing the approaching ship, still silent, still unknown, still terrifying. Commander Velk stood tall, but inside, he felt a pressure building. This ship did not just erase a scout vessel, it erased it without sound, without flash, without trace. That meant one thing, technology far beyond their own. "Has the High Command responded?" Velk asked. "Not yet, sir," the officer replied, nervous. Velk turned back to the screen. The ship was now close enough that the camera showed clear details. It was massive, wider than a city and shaped like a blade. The black metal glowed faint orange from hidden lines across its surface, almost like veins. And then, at the very center of the ship, a mark. "Zoom in," Velk said. The screen focused on the glowing emblem. It was a flag, blue background, white stars, and stripes of red. Velk's eyes narrowed. "No, that can't be." A younger officer stepped forward. "Commander, I think that's a human flag." Whispers broke out across the bridge. "Humans? Impossible. They are barely class 3 in space ranking. They were banned from heavy warships after the Mars conflict." Velk raised his hand. "Quiet." The officers froze. Velk stared at the flag. "If that is human, then what have they built?" Another officer scanned the database. "Commander, this ship is not listed. No model. No known registry. It does not exist." "Then it's a ghost," Velk muttered, "and it's flying toward us." Suddenly, a sound echoed through the speakers. It was not a language, it was not a voice. It was a low hum, a pulse, like a deep heartbeat shaking the ship. Everyone felt it in their chests. The hum came again, stronger. The lights on the bridge flickered, panels sparked. It's jamming us, an engineer shouted. Not just our comms, our systems. Shut down external receivers, Velk barked, but it was too late. The hum passed once more, and with it, every screen on the ship turned black. The bridge went dark. For 5 long seconds, there was nothing but silence. Then the screens returned. But not to their systems. To a message. A single image filled every screen, the human flag again, and a line of text beneath it. You should not have come this close. No voice, no threat. Just that line. Velk's heart pounded. This is not normal. This is not human behavior, he said slowly. One of the younger officers looked confused. But sir, if this is Earth's doing, why would they send such a ship now? They signed peace treaties. They've never shown this kind of power before. Velk didn't blink because they never had to. Everyone turned to him. Think. He said, humans are clever, they play weak, they play quiet. But what if they've been building this in secret? What if this ship was never meant to be seen unless they were provoked? The room went still again. Another alert beeped. Commander, High Command is responding. On screen. An image appeared. Admiral Nocther, leader of the Northern Fleet. Velk, report. Velk nodded. Sir, we are facing a ship of unknown origin, possibly human. It destroyed a scout vessel with no visible weapons. It is interfering with our systems. We have no clear defense against it. The Admiral's face hardened. A human ship did this? It bears their mark. Impossible, Nocther growled. Earth is under treaty. Their weapons are limited by law. Velk stared back. Then I suggest we tear up the treaty. The Admiral paused. Stand down for now. Do not engage. If they wanted to attack, we would all be dead already. Velk nodded. Understood. As the message ended, Velk turned to his crew. Let this be a lesson, he said. Never underestimate a quiet enemy. The ship outside slowed and then stopped. It just hovered there, waiting, watching. What do they want? Someone asked. VLK stared into the void. I think they're giving us time, he said. For what? To run. Before they decide we're not worth warning again. They said humans couldn't build this ship. Floated silently in space. It did not speak. It did not move, but it watched. Commander Velk sat alone in his quarters aboard the Zirvok, staring at the image of the mysterious human warship on his datapad. His hands were still, his mind raced. That thing outside, it was wrong, too big, too quiet, too powerful. He tapped his pad, opening old files from the war archive. Humans were not supposed to build warships like this after the Mars conflict. Earth had signed every treaty, accepted every restriction. No planet killer weapons, no forbidden AI, no long-range supercannons. Earth had agreed to all of it. So how could this be human-made? A soft chime broke his thoughts. Bridge to Commander Velk. Go ahead, he answered. Sir? The ship is moving again. Slowly, but toward us. Velk stood immediately and marched back to the bridge. When he arrived, the lights were dimmed. Tension filled the air like smoke. Report. The human ship is now less than 2,000 kilometers away, the officer said. Still no weapons deployed, but it's broadcasting again. Another message? No, sir. Something stranger. Data streams, long sequences. Translate it. We cannot. It's in no known code, but it looks like programming, complex programming. Velk's eyes widened. You mean they're sending us software? The officer nodded. Or something. Pretending to be software. Velk stepped forward. Do not open it. Block all channels. This is not a gift, it's a test. The ship outside flashed once. Just a pulse of orange light. Not a beam, not an explosion. Just a blink. Suddenly, the Zirvok shook. Sir, someone shouted. Our rear hangar just vanished. Velk spun. What? The screen showed the back of their ship. A wide section of the hull, including launch bays and backup weapons, was gone. Not burned, not shattered. Gone. As if it had been erased. No impact detected, the engineer said. No energy beam, it just disappeared. Velk's face turned pale. What kind of weapon erases matter without touching it? No one answered. Commander. Another voice said quietly, we have an incoming signal. Its voice a human language. Velk paused. Put it through. The speakers buzzed, then a cold, calm voice echoed across the bridge. This is Earth Defense Command. You have approached a restricted zone. Your scout ship ignored warnings and engaged scanning protocols. This was considered hostile behavior. The crew listened in stunned silence. The voice continued, calm and terrifying. Leave now. This is your only warning. We will not demonstrate restraint a second time. The transmission ended. No threats. No yelling, just calm precision. Velk stared at the ship on the screen. They said humans couldn't build something like this. Everyone laughed at Earth's weak technology. But they were not weak, they were hiding, one of the officers whispered. What even is that ship? Felk answered without taking his eyes off the screen. It is a warning, made of steel and powered by fury. The officer beside him blinked. But why now? Why show this ship now? Felk clenched his jaw. Because we crossed a line. We thought we were the rulers of space. But we forgot something important. He turned to the crew. Humans build things with fear in their bones. Not to show off, not to parade, but to survive. And when they build in silence, they build monsters. Outside, the warship did not move. It just waited. Watching. Ready. Asterisk. The fear in the general's eyes. General Thaurak was known across the galaxy as a fearless warrior. He had led fleets against pirate kings, machine rebellions, and solar beasts. His face had never shown fear, not once in his 90 years of service. But now, standing inside the High Command War Hall, his hands trembled ever so slightly. A hologram of the mysterious human warship floated in the center of the chamber. Alien officers and admirals surrounded it, whispering, pointing, arguing. Is it truly human? One asked. It carries Earth's flag. Another replied. But they cannot build this. It's impossible. General Thaurak raised his voice. Quiet. Everyone stopped. He slowly walked around the hologram. Eyes locked on every curve of the deadly design. It is human, he said softly. I've seen something like this once a long time ago. The room leaned in closer. During the last border war, a hidden human base was discovered on an asteroid. It had strange tech, nothing like what they showed in public. Quiet, hidden, dangerous. We laughed. Thought it was stolen, but now. He stopped walking and looked up. I don't think they were copying anyone. I think they've been hiding their true strength for centuries. A voice from the side interrupted. But why? Why pretend to be weak? Thaurak turned slowly. Because fear is a weapon, and sometimes being underestimated is the most powerful strategy of all. The officers looked at each other, uneasy. General, an aide said, running into the room, we've just received another signal from the ship. What does it say? The aide paused. It does not say anything. It sent a single image. He tapped the console and the projection changed, a massive field of orbiting debris. Alien ships, entire fleets broken and scattered across space. At the center, the human warship. Untouched. Everyone froze. The admiral stepped forward. Is this real? Yes, the aide replied. That is live footage from Sector 91. A pirate army was planning to attack Earth's colonies. This ship eliminated them all in minutes. No sounds, no warning, just destruction. General Thaurak stared at the image. His mouth was tight. His eyes narrowed. Then, slowly, a tremble appeared in them. A tiny flicker of something no one had ever seen from him before. Fear. This ship is not just a machine, he said quietly. It thinks, it decides, it knows what it's doing, and worst of all, it's holding back. An admiral scoffed. You believe it could have destroyed us? Thaurak nodded. If it wanted to. Right now, we're alive only because that ship allows it. The room fell completely silent. No one moved. No one breathed loudly. Do we retaliate? Another officer asked. No, Thaurak said firmly. We do not fire at something we cannot hurt. What if Earth sends more? The general looked toward the stars beyond the windows. Then we do the only thing we can. He said, we talk. Back on the Zirvok, Commander Velk watched the same footage in silence. The human warship still hovered outside, silent, unmoving. But more terrifying than any weapon in the galaxy, the crew no longer doubted it. This was a machine of war. A judgment from Earth. Not for conquest, but as a reminder, Earth may be quiet, but it is never weak, and now, the entire galaxy finally understood. The message to the Galactic galaxy held its breath. From the far moons of Draven to the sky domes of Yulia Prime, every species with a screen watched the same thing, a single human warship. Dark as shadow, silent as the void, floating like a ghost between stars. It had no nameplate, no escort, no warning beacons, only a flag, Earth's flag. And fear followed it. Back on the Zirvok, Commander Velk paced slowly, his hands behind his back. The warship still hovered outside, unmoving. It had not fired again, it had not spoken, but its silence was louder than any weapon ever made. Any word from Earth? He asked. His comms officer shook her head. Still nothing. Velk turned toward the screen. He had seen many ships in his life, big ones, fast ones, but this was different. It does not move because it does not need to, he muttered. Then dashed without warning. The ship sent out a signal. It was not a sound, not a beam, not a message in code. It was a broadcast, across every system, every world. Every ship. The galaxy blinked. And then, on every screen, a figure appeared, a human. Female. Middle-aged, dressed in simple Earth uniform, no medals, no weapons, just her eyes calm and cold. She began to speak. This is Earth. You have tested our patience. The galaxy went silent. For years, we followed your rules. We stayed quiet. We traded fairly. We kept our weapons hidden, we signed your treaties, she paused, you laughed at us. Mocked our limits, treated us like insects, her voice sharpened, but we warned you, again and again. Now, the screen changed, images flashed of Earth ships destroyed. Colonies attacked, civilians kidnapped, then images of the Oblivion-class warship destroying entire fleets without effort, clean, silent, final. Her voice returned, you wanted to see what humanity was capable of. Now the image zoomed in on the warship floating in space, you wanted to see our strength. She leaned closer to the screen, now you have. Then the final words, leave us alone, or we will stop pretending to be civilized. The broadcast ended. Across the galaxy, leaders sat in silence. Some shook, others cried. A few laughed nervously, unsure if what they saw was real, but no one dared to question it. Because deep down, they all understood, Earth had just redrawn the lines, back on the Zervok. The bridge was silent. No alarms. No flashing lights. Just quiet breathing. Velk slowly sat in his chair. They gave us a choice, he whispered, peace for extinction. The warship turned, slowly, gracefully, without noise, and then it vanished. A ripple of light. Gone. No engine flare, no hyperspace jump, just gone. Velk leaned back, he felt old. Not in body but in mind. We were not ready for this, he said. His crew nodded. No one disagreed. Days later, across the galaxy, new rules began to form. Treaties were rewritten with Earth as an equal. Alien commanders studied human history not to laugh, but to learn. No one mocked Earth again, because now they knew the truth. When humanity builds in silence, they build what cannot be stopped. And when they finally speak, the galaxy listens.